It was 6 weeks ago that New York Attorney General Letitia James filed a $250 million fraud lawsuit against Donald Trump, his business, and 3 of his adult children. And on that same day, the very day Letitia James filed that suit seeking to make Trump, his company, and his family pay $250 million, the Trump Organization created a brand new company, a new corporate entity that they registered in New York. It was called, and I am not kidding here, Trump Organization 2, LLC. We'll just move all the money to Trump Organization 2, then they'll never find it. To be clear, we do not know that they created this new carbon copy of the Trump Organization as part of a plan to hide assets, but that is certainly what Tish James thought they were trying to do. And she asked the judge in her fraud lawsuit to issue an injunction preventing the Trump Organization from transferring any of its assets anywhere, like to Trump Organization 2. Well, today, that judge granted the request. Trump's lawyer argued that a court order was unnecessary, basically a, hey now, you can trust us, we're not moving our assets anywhere. But the judge sided with the New York Attorney General. Why? Among other things, because of Trump and his company's, quote, demonstrated propensity to engage in persistent fraud. Adding insult to injury, the judge is also going to appoint an independent monitor to oversee the Trump Organization paid for by Trump's company. And you know that one's going to sting. You can tell how much Letitia James and her fraud lawsuit are getting under Trump's skin because Trump has now filed his own countersuit against the New York Attorney General. I call it a countersuit, but it is really more of an extended Truth Social post in lawsuit form. Quote, the continuing witch hunt that has haunted and targeted Donald Trump since he came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower in June of 2015 continues. President Trump built a great and prosperous company, but a company nevertheless that must be carefully, delicately, yet powerfully managed. It is hard to read that with a straight face. Delicately, yet powerfully managed. He manages that company so powerfully and so delicately. You can literally hear the dictation in this lawsuit. It continues, quote, the interference by a political hack like James, who is using this lawsuit for political gain, would bring great harm to the company, the brand, the employees, and its overall reputation. Likewise, it could virtually destroy the highly profitable Florida properties, which include the legendary Trump National Doral Golf Club and Resort, one of the most successful in the world, Trump International Golf Club in Palm Beach, Florida, Trump Jupiter Country Club in Jupiter, Florida, and of course, one of the greatest and most successful clubs in the world, the Mar-a-Lago Club. This is a lawsuit, as in a legal document. Is he trying to pitch the judge on a golf club membership? It sort of seems like he is. In fact, the lawsuit is so ridiculous, the New York Times reports today that many of Trump's legal advisors hotly opposed filing it at all, with good reason. One of them told the lawyers filing the suit for Trump they might be committing malpractice. But much like his tax returns, Trump appears to be very, very committed to keeping certain financial secrets. His new lawsuit seeks to prevent the New York Attorney General from getting access to the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust, the entity under which all his other assets are structured. Among the financial secrets contained therein, quote, the trust contains his private estate plans and present decisions regarding the disposition of his assets upon death. Ah, is that what this is about? He doesn't want his kids to find out what he's left them. Joining us now is New York Law School professor Rebecca Roiphe, former Manhattan assistant DA. Professor Roiphe, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
I mean, I'm sorry for the theatrics, but the lawsuit calls for it, and it does beg the question, is that what he's trying to hide? His basically his estate plans, who gets what in the Trump empire? What do you think all this hue and cry is about?
You know, I don't think he's so concerned about what they're going to see. I think this is, in a way, publicity as well as an effort a last-ditch effort, a Hail Mary to stop this investigation that's increasingly closing in on him in a way that is troubling. I mean, you know, there's a lot at stake.
So his lawyers, well, at least a faction of the lawyers, did not want Trump to file this Hail Mary. What are the effects it could have on the case, even if it's basically thrown out? I mean, does this further antagonize the AG's office? What about the judge that's making all the decisions in this case?
Yeah, I mean, the Attorney General already used this as a reason for why they ought to issue the injunction, because she said, you know, all of this mention of the Florida organization suggests that he is interested in moving the money out of control of these organizations such that it'll be harder for the New York Attorney General to access those funds should they win this lawsuit. And so she's already turned this into her benefit by suggesting this lawsuit is a reason why he should issue the injunction.
This is evidence that Trump really wants to move everything out of the state where she has purview. But to the lawsuit itself that Trump's filing, beyond being like a kind of 48-page version of a Truth Social post, does it have any merit? Is there any judge in the state of Florida, and I know there are some wackadoo judges down in the state of Florida, as we've seen from the Mar-a-Lago documents drama, but is there any chance that a Florida judge looks at the case Trump lays out here and says, you know what, this is credible?
I think there's almost absolutely no chance. I mean, we really have, he has filed a number of very close to frivolous or frivolous lawsuits over the past several years, and this is up there as one of the most frivolous, because what it's essentially asking is one separate sovereign to walk into another sovereign's business and stop a state investigation. And that's just not how it's done. There are mechanisms within New York to challenge the Attorney General's investigation. He's already used some of them. And this is just not the way you do it.